sidelines for a long time. Now I'm finally getting in the game. It's about time. This is my time. This is my time. The only thing I consider impossible is losing. I've been waiting on the sidelines for a long time. Now I'm finally getting in the game. It's about time. This is my time. This is my time. The only thing I consider impossible is losing. I've been waiting on the sidelines for a long time. Now I'm finally getting in the game. It's about time. This is my time. This is my time. The only thing I consider impossible is losing. I've been waiting on the sidelines for a long time. Now I'm finally getting in the game. It's about time. This is my time. This is my time. The only thing I consider impossible is losing. Waiting on the sidelines for a long time. Now I'm finally getting in the game. It's about time. This is my time. This is my time. The only thing I consider impossible is losing. I've been waiting on the sidelines for a long time. Now I'm finally getting in the game. It's about time. This is my time. This is my time. The only thing I consider.
Hit that like button on your way in the building, y'all. Punch that like button. Welcome back to TD Fans Talk, home of the real Miami Dolphin fans. This stream is being powered by BetUS. Receive a 125% bonus. The link is in the description of the video. Take advantage of it on your first 3 deposits, 125% on your first 3 deposits. Remember, supporting our sponsors is supporting the channel. A quick word from our sponsor, BetUS.
BetUS, America's favorite sportsbook and casino. Live betting and racebook. We're celebrating 30 years with a historic offer. A 125% sign-up bonus on your first 3 deposits. Plus 10% gambler's insurance. Get started today. BetUS, where the game begins.
BetUS, where the game begins. Don't forget, on BetUS TV, right on YouTube, you have the Huddle Show Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. to 4 p.m. Myself, Dan, Richie, we host the show. It's an amazing show. It's growing really fast. I think we're over about 6,200 subs at this point. We just started a few 2 months ago. Less than 2 months ago. So y'all come check that out, of course. And also on BetUS TV, you're going to see a list of a slew of different shows of almost every single sport that you can get into. So check it out. BetUS TV, ladies and gentlemen. All right, y'all punch that like button. Let's get the likes to 100, and then we'll get started. Let's get the likes to 100. To 100. Punch that like button. Let's get it to 100. know what just happened while my chat disappeared or whatever. All right. Come on, y'all. Let's hit that like button. 200 people watching, only 60 likes. Y'all ain't got to be like that. You ain't got to be like that. Let's hit that like button, and then we're going to go ahead and get started, man. And I agree with Adam Beasley's tweet. I'm about to talk about that in a second. I agree with Adam Beasley on this one. I'll give y'all my take, give you my thoughts, and hopefully I could drop the link and bring some of y'all in and give me your thoughts. All right, 16 more likes. Hit that like button. 230 people on YouTube. Hit the like button. All right, let's check it. Don't worry about it, Twitch viewers. I appreciate the love. 3 more likes. All right, here we go. Let's get started, man. Okay. Patric Paul. Patric Paul. Let me start by saying I personally, and this is just an opinion, it doesn't make it a fact, obviously, it's just an opinion. I personally think Chris Greer be lying. I don't care what nobody say. You're not going to sit here and tell me that you draft the best player available. That's number one. You are not going to sit here and tell me that you draft the best player available. At number 55, Patric Paul was not the best player available. Patric Paul, I believe, many people believe was a 4th round prospect. I believe he was a 3rd round prospect. And you got him in the middle of the 2nd round. What I will say is this. If you love your guy, you go get him. They love their guy. And they got him. Same thing with Chop Robinson. They love their guy and they got him. No problem with that. Adam Beasley just said Patric Paul and Chop Robinson's picks. The Miami Dolphins 2025 relaunch begins in earnest. Let me read that again for those who didn't hear it. Patric Paul and Chop Robinson, the Miami Dolphins 2025 relaunch begins in earnest. Do y'all know what that means? And I agree. Chris Greer knows this team cannot win a Super Bowl right now. Get mad at me all you want. Chris Greer knows that this team right now cannot win a Super Bowl. And even if he believed that they could win one this year, the way the team is currently constructed, you only got 1 year. So what is Chris Greer doing right in front of your eyes without many people even noticing? He's starting his rebuild already. He's starting the rebuild. These picks are simply for the rebuild. It's that simple. A lot of people will not see it that way. These picks are for the rebuild. Chop Robinson. When Chubb and Phillips, if both of them get healthy, Chop not starting. Patric Paul ain't starting. Unless somebody get hurt. These are developmental pieces. They're not finished products. They're players that you hope after 1 year they could be put in to start and continue to build and grow. I don't have a problem with this. But what I told you all is we should have started this last year. Jose with the first super chat. Appreciate you, homie. Jose said, replacement for Chubb and Armstead. Yes, we know this. These are a replacement for Chubb and Armstead. Now, the funny thing is, Chubb is going to cost us some dead cap next year when we move on from him. And Teron Armstead is going to cost us some dead cap when we move on from him too. But we'll have two guys that can go in their place. Now, let me ask you this. Do you feel like Chop Robinson is going to be better than a prime Bradley Chubb? Maybe you do. I don't know. But what's your thoughts? Yes or no in the chat. Do you think Chop Robinson is going to be better than a prime Bradley Chubb or the same? I'm just curious. Let me know in the chat. I personally think at best you'll get the same caliber of player. Let's move forward. Do you think that Patric Paul is going to be as good as Teron Armstead? Do you think Patric Paul is going to be as good as Teron Armstead? I'm getting a shower of no's. All right. The rebuild is already starting at a deficit. Even in 2025, the rebuild is already starting at a deficit. This is why I tried to tell you guys. Last year and this year is the best team that we are ever going to see with our current quarterback because the money for him is going to start to be a factor. This is the best roster we're going to have in a long time. And that leads me to believe. See, I could see if Jalen Ramsey, caliber player, was 25 years old and he was young. I could see if Tyreek Hill, we got a receiver like Tyreek Hill and he was 24 and young. I could see if we invested a first round, hands down tackle to replace Teron Armstead for the future. You get where I'm going with this. I could see if we were replacing these guys with high priority draft picks. But we're not. We're replacing them with developmental pieces that are still raw. And what many Dolphin fans need to realize, and let's start with Patric Paul, you want him to be your next Teron Armstead or at least serviceable when at the end of the day, you don't play around about left tackles in the NFL. You go get a bookend guy in the top of the first round. But we go at 55 on a project, knowing that the odds of a project working out at the left tackle position are slim to none. Something many of you all need to consider. There are actually, not unlike quarterback, right? At quarterback, you might find some gems here and there in later rounds and shock you. But at the left tackle position, it is rare to find definitive stud guys outside of the early first round. And early means like before 18. Before 18. Okay. The point I'm making here is our rebuild is already starting at a deficit. Not a big deal. Not a big deal. Now we're hoping that this guy can be the next Teron Armstead and be a lower draft pick and turn out to be one of the greatest ever. Because you need some of the greatest ever on those edges. And let me be clear about this too. Let me backtrack for a second. You don't need the greatest ever, but the quarterback we have, you need better. You need better. They don't believe we're built to win a Super Bowl right now. I think the Dolphins feel like we hit a brick wall last year against good teams, and they know that the issue is on the offensive side of the ball. And I feel like they are already preparing to build for the future. You know why? Just look at how Chris Greer is structuring every contract on this team. All of them we can get out of in 2025. But are they tradable? Teron Armstead, we can go in 2025, dead cap, hopefully tradable. But who would want him at this point? Tyreek Hill, they didn't restructure. He could be gone in 2025. Jalen Ramsey, the contract set up for him to be gone in 2025. Bradley Chubb, the contract is set up for him to be gone in 2025. The problem is, what are the odds that you could select their replacements to be as good as they were when you spent all that money on a guaranteed, surefire, proven player? It's part of the issue. The Miami Dolphins are fine with going into war this year with the current offensive line that we have, ladies and gentlemen. Now, will they go in free agency and still bring in a few players here, a few washed up receivers, a few washed up guards, another center, and they already done got 7 defensive tackles. I wouldn't be surprised they don't bring in a few more washed up. Yeah, they're going to go make a few more moves. They're going to go get a player or two that got a big name, but they old now. Nobody want them. That's why they still available. They're going to still do a few things to finish the roster and round the roster out. But what's on this roster today is the core of the roster. The roster today, I'm confident that 48 of them making the roster. 48 of them making the start at the 53. And the other 5, I'm just giving hope that draft picks and undrafted, you get a surprise 2 or 3, and the rest of the free agents we bring in, you get a surprise 2 or 3 of them. Dolphin fans, are you really feeling like this team can compete with the Jets this year? I know that's going to anger a lot of people because they division rivals. Our only hope with the Jets is hoping Aaron Rodgers is for some reason done lost it. Because I'm gonna tell you now, if Aaron Rodgers ain't lose it, the Jets are loaded. They don't have a single hole on the entire roster now. A single hole. They just like, hey, we having fun. We getting depth for the future. Like they're building for the future with a roster that's complete. Complete roster with no holes. And they already got a little depth. Right now, they just trying to bring in some more depth to say, y'all the future. Y'all just going to have to sit back and chill. They literally drafted a left tackle like we did, and they know he ain't going to play right away unless there's an injury. And we get a left tackle that we also know won't play, but at the same token, you got positions that we need a starter now. Buffalo get a solid receiver. They get a defensive tackle. They ain't going nowhere. All they really did this year is get younger. They even got the safety. Safety I actually like. Cole Bishop. It feels like we're the only ones that kind of like hustle backwards. And people are like, yeah, but Buffalo lost, Stephon Diggs. They got rid of a washed up Jordan Poyer safety, gave him to us, and got Cole Bishop. They brought in a nice young receiver. And they didn't need to lean on Stephon Diggs anyway. And they proved that in the last 8 games where his numbers dropped off the map because they stopped trying to rely on him. Feel like we be hustling backwards. See, I don't like the Bills, and I don't think that they're better than they were last year, but at least they've done enough to get back to where they were last year. We haven't gotten better this offseason. Oh, well, we brought in Fuller. Brewer. I like Chop Robinson for the future. Patric Paul, I would have loved for the future if we got him in the 4th round. Now, the crazy thing is he has to hit. He's going to be required to hit. Somebody said, we haven't gotten better, but we haven't gotten worse. Neither, TD. Yes, we have. Stop believing the freaking hype. Connor Williams was one of the best created centers in the NFL. You got Brewer. You got worse. Robert Hunt, one of the best guards in the NFL. I don't even know who's going to be over there. Jones? You got worse. Christian Wilkins. You got way worse. Fuller. You didn't get worse because Xavier Howard was washed to me, but it ain't like it's just like we ain't get better. It's just like, okay, fill in and you can at least do what Xavier Howard stopped doing. Like, where did we get Brad better? Jordan Poyer done lost a step. They got old. Why do y'all think we got back to where we were? Well, we got some linebackers. One can stop the run and can't stop the pass. The other can stop the pass and can't stop the run. Same old perpetual cycle we always do. Why do y'all keep thinking we got not better? Sorry, but why you think we at least got the same? No, we didn't. No, we didn't. Mr. Success says, way to hedge your bets, TD. hedge it. You think I'm hedging my bet? You think I'm saying all this so that if it comes to fruition, I can say I told you so? All of us should be saying this right now. Did everybody need to be hedging their bet? Ain't no bet. Like, how can you not see it to where this shouldn't be a bet. This shouldn't be a bet needing hedging. If we all agree, we can't bet. So it's nothing to hedge. But that means some of y'all don't agree with me. Perfectly fine that you don't, but you gotta explain to me. You gotta explain to me. How did we get back to where we were, losing Connor Williams, Robert Hunt, Christian Wilkins? Please explain that to me. Well, collectively, we got better. It's like getting rid of a 10, and a 9. And, well, those were 3 great players, but we got 6 6s. And when you add it all up, that's better. That ain't how it works. It's not how it works. Now, did we fall off of a cliff? No. But you're still hustling backwards. If I'm to view this team, I would put this team last year at like a 7.4. We're a 7 now. So, no, we didn't become a 6. No, we didn't just fall off. We're still competitive. But we're a 7 now. We were a 7.4. I was hoping this offseason we can go to a 7.8-ish. We're a 7. And a 7 still win games. A 7 still compete for the playoffs. But at a 7.4, we couldn't even win a playoff game or beat any good teams in the league. What leads us to believe that we're going to do that as a 7? And I can't count on Chop Robinson to go into the score. If he start, whoever he's starting for, because they still hurt, it's a wash. I can't count on him to upgrade the score. And a matter of fact, that's being optimistic because truth be told, I mean, even Jalen Phillips wasn't a hot stuff coming year 1 automatically. As a rookie, it's rare that you just ball out right away. So I'm being optimistic to say that if he start, I can't jump the score up. It'll be a wash. That's me just being a homer. I can't use Patric Paul to bring our score up. He might, if everybody stay healthy, he might not even play. Then you got beat writers straight up lying on Twitter, talk about, yeah, this is a great pick for Miami. He could he could be a really good guard to start out. What guard? You put that man in no guard, no 6'7"? Well, let me stop. I done seen crazier stuff. He ain't got no guard experience, but I have seen crazier stuff. So let me shut up. I might be putting my foot in my mouth. That was only Chris Perkins. Well, it was him then, because I go into my beat writers and people that's associated with the Miami Dolphins. They got their own little tab on my Twitter, and when I read to see what's going on. I don't have a problem with starting the future. I don't have a problem with starting the future, but I'll say that in a second. I'm trying to figure out how to say it. Let me read these super chats and catch up. Can we trade Chris Greer for Howie Roseman? We are not a Super Bowl contender. Worst botch, fumble, rebuild, plus Dolphins gonna Dolphin. Y'all bums getting sweep and not making playoffs. No, I'm not gonna say that. Patric Paul will be our starting left tackle by week 5 after Armstead goes down with another injury. Paul is a project who will get to hurt in 2024. You know what? That's the scary part. There is a good chance he can play if Teron Armstead got hurt, right? But then you automatically like he not coming in being Teron Armstead day one. So you might automatically have a drop in play. And this is stuff I be talking about. Deshaun Wilson, that would be the first group of people on the panel to bring on and discuss. I'm not sure what do you mean. Oh, TD, I'm a Bills fan, and I'm not gonna lie. Chop can make an impact for you guys right away. Also, we killed day 2. Well, listen, this is the point that I'm making. Even if he can make an impact for us right away, would it be more than of an impact that Jalen Phillips would make? Is it more of an impact than Chubb is going to make? So the point that I'm making is you can come in and have an impact right away, but the only way you're going to do that is one of them guys are hurt. And Chubb may not come back right away. So when we say impact, we're trying to get better. That's just a wash. Oh, at least we got a replacement for him while he hurt. That's good. But I'm talking about the team getting better. And I'm not as mad about the Chop pick because I don't think we can afford to have those guys not available week 1. But one or both of them may be unavailable, but one of them I'm confident Chubb may not be ready unless they're rushing him back. So yeah, he can make an impact, but is it more of an impact than what Chubb would have made? And that's all I'm saying. See, that's the type of pick that I want the Dolphins to make next year, because right now, aren't we trying to win a Super Bowl right now? And when we look at the issues on this team, and let me say this too. I don't know if y'all saw this on Twitter, right? Y'all tell me in the chat if y'all saw this online. Somebody put this out online. They said the Dolphins secured their tackle for the future. Tua is the 3rd lowest in the NFL, only behind Will Levis and some other bum. But he's only 2 other guys are worse than him. When pressured, Tua has a 40% completion percentage. Did y'all see that post online? When Tua is pressured, he has a 40% completion percentage. 3rd worst in the entire NFL, only behind Will Levis, who's only 0.01 behind him, and somebody else. And they said this is why Miami invested in Patric Paul in an offensive lineman. I wonder how y'all feel about that. See, this is what kills me. And I want y'all to hear me very well here, because this is how people deceive you easily and you don't recognize it. See, I always tell y'all I'm a numbers guy. You got to look at the raw data to back up what people say, because if you don't look at the raw data, they'll pull one over on you really quick. Tua is the 3rd worst quarterback in the NFL when pressured. Why are some people's brain wired to automatically go to the O-line with that stat as the issue instead of Tua being the issue? I want y'all to think about that. You're the 3rd worst in the NFL when being pressured, and we automatically go to see the O-line got to get fixed. No, that is a quarterback stat. How well you perform under pressure is a quarterback stat. And for some reason, people's brain automatically thinks that it's a offensive line stat. And let me check with the chat real quick. Tua's 40%, third worst in the NFL. Is that a QB issue or an O-line issue? Put it in the chat. Put it in the chat for me. Put it in the chat. Because I know some people may disagree with me. Is that a QB issue or an O-line issue? I'm glad to see that there's a lot of people, everybody saying QB issue. And some people saying both. It is strictly a QB issue. It has nothing to do with the O-line, ladies and gentlemen. I'll even take it a step further. I actually have proof. I knew when that stat came out, I said, well, that just tells you how bad Tua is when he under pressure. You got to be better. But in people's mind, well, why is he getting pressured? Guess which team had the least amount of pressures in the NFL last year? Y'all know I don't ask questions without knowing the answer. Guess what team had the least amount of pressures last year in the NFL on dropbacks to throw the ball? Guess what team had the least amount of pressures last year throwing the ball? Can you guess which team had the least amount of pressures last year throwing the ball? 24.9% of all dropbacks. The Miami Dolphins had the least amount of pressures last year against Tua Tagovailoa. He got pressured 24.9% of the time. Do you want to know what the second runner-up team was in the NFL? 29%. Almost every team in the NFL are in the high 30s and low 40s. Go look it up. I could pull it up right now. Almost every team in the NFL is in the high 30s and the low 40% in pressures in the NFL. People out here getting pressure left and right. And our quarterback gets pressured the least amount in the NFL. And it's the third worst in the NFL. Make it make sense. So we want to say, well, we need to fix the O-line. No accountability at the quarterback position. Now, don't get me wrong. A big reason why we don't get pressured as much is because the ball is out quick too. I'll give you that. But it's still the lowest sample size in the entire NFL. Lowest sample size in the entire NFL. And you got to look at how these guys perform under the pressure. Yeah, I could pull it up. Oh, Powers, Johnson, and Newton were right there around 47 to 50, and Greer didn't trade up. That's horrible, man. Those are potential all-pros, no question. So for those that believe the team is better, where we were presently, you could bring them on and they can share their perspective. Yeah. I'm gonna do the call in. I'm gonna open it up. But let me pull this up. Let me pull this up for some people. Because I know some people think I'm just talking. Some people think I'm just talking. Hold on. Let me pull it up. We could go through quarterbacks. We can look at whatever quarterback you want to look at and see how they are versus pressures. And what percent of plays are pressures. All right. Hold on, I got to log in to my premium subscription. All right, here we go. We in. All right. Share screen. I seen that a few people, this is not true. All right, let's do it. We ain't got to argue. Let me blow my screen up a little, make it a little bigger so we can see more. All right, so let me go to premium stats. Let me go to premium stats. That'll make it quicker. All right, my bad. Hold on. I gotta change the window. Screen share, premium stats, share. All right, here we go. Premium stats. Let's start here, man. Let me work out a view that y'all can see. All right, here come premium stats. All right. Give me a second. Let's go. Miami Dolphins. All right. Let's go. Schedule. Let's go. Pressures. Where are you? Pressure and depth. Right. All right. Let's go. To those who say I'm lying. All right. Come down here. Under pressure is the second line. Can y'all see this fine? Let me blow it up a little more. All right. Hopefully y'all can see this. Can y'all see it just fine? Let me know in the chat right now. Can you see it? Can you see it just fine? Let me know in the chat. Ariel, let me know in the chat. Can you see it just fine? Yes or no? All right, y'all see it fine. Cool. All right, let's do this. All right, Miami Dolphins. 75.1% of all plays, our quarterback is kept clean. Cooking. Under pressure, 24.9% of the plays. Under pressure. You see all that bad stuff right there? 51.8% PFF rating when under pressure. 51.8 fumbles. All that stuff. 51.8. Let me write that down. 24.9% of pressures. And it equates to a 51.8 grade. All right. So that's the Miami Dolphins. Let's start. Pick a quarterback, matter of fact. Pick a quarterback, ladies and gentlemen. Pick a quarterback. I mean, who you want to compare to? Compare to Josh Allen. Oh, let's see. Let's see how much Buffalo Josh Allen gets pressured. All right, Josh Allen is under pressure 35.4% of his plays. And he ain't great either, but he's a 62.8, 11 points greater than Tua. But he's under way more pressure and duress. 10%, almost 11% more pressures. He's only kept clean 65% of the time. Who else you want to compare it to? Joe Burrow? Matter of fact, let's just do this. Let's make it easy. Let's go every quarterback. Let's just go one by one. Kyler Murray, pressure 31.3%, 56.6. Now, remember, all quarterbacks aren't going to be that good when they're pressured. But remember, Tua's a 51.8. Kyler Murray's better under pressure, and he gets pressured more. Okay? So when everybody talk about these, passer ratings, our guy ain't getting pressured and other teams are. So their passer rating is going to be lower because they're under more duress. Atlanta Falcons. Well, that was last year. Under pressure, 31.7. He trashed, but that's why he ain't there no more. Baltimore Ravens, Lamar Jackson, 36.3, balling. You know why? Because he got legs. Not like Josh Allen back there, but he's better under pressure. Fumbles, but he's better under pressure. 77.1, 36% of the time he's pressured. Let's keep it moving. Buffalo, we already did. Carolina Panthers, Bryce Young, under pressure 41% of the time, worse than the league. He did this terrible. But he probably get pressured top 3 in the league. 40.7. This man almost doubles to his pressures. 30 points, like 40.7. 2 out of every 5 plays he getting pressured in the passing game. That's tough. I ain't gonna lie, that's tough. That is tough. All right. Chicago Bears. Justin Fields last year, 48.8% of the time he pressured, and he got a higher grade than Tua when under pressure, 57.7. And that's pretty much because he gets out of it sometimes, but that still ain't a good grade. But half of his dropbacks, he's under pressure. Half of the dropbacks. That's crazy. Bengals, Joe Burrow and company. 30% of his, 68.5. He still handles it well. Lamar's better handling pressure, but Joe Burrow, who is just a pure pocket guy who can't escape, handles it much better. Handles it way better, just being a pocket guy. 68.5. Let's keep it moving. Oh, no, wrong one. Browns. This was a combination, but they got Joe Flacco. He paid majority of the games. 33% pressures, 69.9. He handled it well last year. Dallas Cowboys, Dak Prescott. Pressure 31.3% of the time. He balled out, played very well, not balled out, but played very well under pressure. 72 rating. 72 rating under pressure. Nice. Denver Broncos, Russell Wilson last year, 41% of the time he was pressured. And that's why they got rid of him, because just like Tua, he down in the low 50s. 54, still greater than Tua, because Tua 51.8. He couldn't handle the pressure very well. Detroit Lions, Jared Goff, 35% of the time he's pressured. 48.2. Did not do good. He did not do good at all under pressure. And this is why they better be careful. They better be careful, because you got to start looking at these quarterbacks when it's an unideal situations. Are they still rising to the occasion? But they're going to pay him anyway. Green Bay Packers, Jordan Love. Pressure 30.8% of the time. He's a little above average. He's, some would say solid because it's under pressure. You want to be over 60. 60 is like when you're pressured, that's acceptable because it's not easy for any quarterback when you're under pressure. 64, that's solid. CJ Stroud, 35.4% of the time he's pressured, not good under pressure. And this is where he has to improve as a rookie. Still higher than Tua right now, but he also gets pressured about 11% more than Tua. He got to be better in that area if he's going to take that team to the next level. Indianapolis Colts, Gardner Minshew, 34.8 pressures. Terrible. I don't even want to look at it. Just trash. Just trash. That's why they got their guy. Trevor Lawrence, 29.5. This is the second most pressure quarterback is Trevor Lawrence, y'all. And he right there with, no. Tua better than Trevor. See, I was arguing with Richie and them that I'll take Tua over Trevor Lawrence. And this is a big reason why. Trevor don't do nothing special. No. I take Tua over Trevor any day. At this point, I didn't used to think that way, but now I do. But he does get pressure more. But regardless, you don't perform well in pressure. All right, Patric Mahomes. Look at this. 35.8% pressure. 75.9. Right there, close to Lamar Jackson. Balling. See, you play well under pressure. You ain't got to worry about all that other stuff. Oh, my O-line ain't as good. Oh, the defense selling. Bro, you ain't got no weakness on offense at the quarterback position. Dial up your blitz packages. Do this, do that. He eating you up anyway. And he got a large sample size of pressures, 303. This is what I'm talking about. This is why these guys are as great as they are. Lamar, Mahomes. When things are rough, they elevate. Raiders, O'Connell, 33% pressures, 50, trash. And that's why they need a quarterback. Rams, Matthew Stafford, 33.6% pressure. Poor. I don't like that. And that's why they got a decision to make, because he's trying to get more money now, asking for a rework on his contract. And if I'm them, I wouldn't do it. Your window is closed over there. Chargers, Justin Herbert, under pressure. 36% of the time he's under pressure. 12% more than Tua, he's taking pressure. And look how he handled the pressure. 72.9%. He up there. Just under Mahomes and Lamar Jackson. Now, I know that's going to anger some people. They don't want to hear that. They don't want to hear that. Don't want to hear it. You notice the players that teams really have no questions about? We already did the Dolphins. Vikings and Kirk Cousins. 32.6% under pressure. 65-7. Solid. Real solid. New England is Mac Jones. You see why they got rid of him? Can't handle pressure. But he gets pressure more than our guy. 31-4. He can't handle pressure. Worse than the league so far. Worse than the league. All right. Saints. Derek Carr. 30.8 under pressure. Poor as well. And we already know his career going down now. Giants, Tommy DeVito. Oh, I could have clicked down and looked at all the other quarterbacks. That's why. Trash anyway. But he get pressure 41.8% of the time. That's tough. Daniel Jones played. Daniel Jones. 45-5. Now, is that Tommy DeVito? Hold on. Daniel Jones. Let me go back to Tommy. Oh, they just they all getting pressured. They all trash under pressure. Daniel Jones, Danny DeVito, Tyrod Taylor. He's better than all of them under pressure, but he get pressure less than them, but still a lot. Jets, Zach Wilson, 43% pressure, 36 on the rating. Not good under pressure. Jalen Hurts, 41% pressures. Man, 71, though. He handles it. He can handle it. And this is why you extend him. We'll see this year if he regressed or he really was dealing with the bad shoulder injury that everybody keep trying to say was the issue. But he still handled pressure better. Kenny Pickett. This is why they moved on. He get pressured a lot, but he don't handle it well. Correlations. Purdy, man. Purdy, 40% almost pressures. That's a lot. I thought they would be lower. 62, fair. Fair. Not great, not terrible, just solid, fair. Like I said, you want over 60 when you're under pressure. All right, Seattle, Geno, 40% pressures, 60, fair. Tampa, Baker Mayfield, I know he is poor. 34, yep, 53. Had a better season, but this has been his issue. Some of these quarterbacks, just when you're under pressure, how you perform could change your whole life in games. But you don't have that when things get rough to get out of it or make the right decision, make the right reads. Will Levis, terrible. Remember, he's one of two behind Tua. But this man pressure 45% of the time. And we sitting here talk about Tua's 24. This man is pressured 20% more than Tua Tagovailoa. That's crazy. Last, not least, Sam Howell, Washington Commanders. This is why they invest in a quarterback. He doesn't handle pressure well, 38.9. But he does get a lot of pressure. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Point of the matter is we are the least pressured team in the NFL, And you can see the correlation between the quarterbacks that handle pressure well and the quarterbacks that don't handle pressure well. It's that simple. Check Tom Brady. Let me see if they'll let me change year. What year was Tom Brady? You're gonna have to you probably have to give me the year. What year? Give me a second. I don't know. What year was Tom Brady? Y'all want to use the Super Bowl year or his last year when it wasn't as good? Which one do you want to use? Let's use his non-good year. Let's go to 2021. Wait, was it 2021? Y'all give me a second. Hello? Give me 10. Not too much long. My bad, y'all. All right. All right. Let's see here. Hold on, y'all. I'm trying to filter this to get Tom Brady. No, I want to go back in years, not current players. Give me 1 second. Hold on. Tampa Bay. No. Hold on. 2021. Tampa Bay. Oh, let me try to open it in another window. Maybe that's the issue. I'm just showing the team pressures was 20%, but I'm trying to go to filter down to Tom Brady pressures, Tampa Bay 2021. Not postseason, regular season. Player. Give me 1 moment, y'all. Hold on. Let me click on his name. Y'all give me a second. Let me open up another window. All right, player. Tampa Bay Buccaneers. One. Y'all give me another player that played that year that's not in the league anymore that you could think of, because I want to see if that's the issue here. Got his name, then click on it. Let me see what y'all say. Drew Brees. Let me see if it'll work. Let me go 2021 Saints. Schedule, pressures. It don't make sense because it let me pull up. I pulled this exact thing up earlier for another quarterback, Big Ben, for another reason, and I saw it. So this don't make no sense. Okay, Trevor Taylor. No, it's not showing Drew Brees for 2021. You sure Drew Brees was in the league in 2021? Give me another name. I don't think Brees was, unless my thing tripping. I don't think Brees was in the league 2021. Ben Roethlisberger, was he in the league in 2021? Let's see, Pittsburgh. All right, Ben. See, that's weird. Ben just came up for me. Okay, let me stay on this page and go to Tampa Bay. There it is again. Pressures and depth. Sorry, y'all. Give me a second. I didn't forget I'm live. My bad, y'all. It ain't working for me. Let me just try one more time. Let me go to 2022, see if that'll work. Maybe it's just an issue. I'm coming, guys. All right. Tampa. I don't know what the issue is. For Breeze, Brady. Practice. All right, it is what it is. I don't know why. It should be able to go back. I've gone back as far as 10 years on here before. 20 years. TD, can we see Tua pressure under Flores? Let me see. I hope that ain't messing up on me now. What year was Flores? 2020? Miami Dolphins. Okay, this is what I need to do. I know what I need to do. My bad. All right. I see. Okay. Because what happened was it took me out of my premium. So now I'm back in my premium. Because Tua wasn't even showing up. And I know he was 2020, right? I know I ain't tripping. Let me see. All right, premium Tua Tagovailoa 2020. There it is. Okay. All right. Tua was pressured in 2020 under Flores 29.1. About the league normal. Well, technically, it's even worse than that in the league. So that was still good. And he was even worse. He was a 43.7 under pressure. Y'all see? Oh, y'all ain't even looking. I thought I shared my screen. My bad, y'all. If I would have knew my screen wasn't up, I wouldn't have took that long. I thought y'all would look at me the whole time. This is under Flores. Rookie year. Let's go to second year because somebody said that was rookie. Okay. Second year, even worse. He actually regressed. And then he got pressured a little more at 32.5. Let's go to 22 because we didn't look at that last year too under pressure. Same thing as like this year, 52.3 when McDaniel first came in. He still see the pressures went down. That's the McDaniel system. Get rid of the ball quick, but he still doesn't perform well when the pressure comes. Then in 2023, this year, he actually went to 54.4. Wait, hold on. Dang, I had 51.8 on here, so it's 54.4 under pressure. Oh, that's regular season. So when you add regular season and postseason, then it's 51.8. That means that last game was even worse. 51.8. If he dropped 3 points because of the last game, that mean the Chiefs put some pressure on him and he was terrible. You know what? Now I want to know if I could see by game. I wonder if I could see by game. I wonder if they could show me pressure offensive when he's under pressure by game. And I don't think so. I don't think they have it each game. Passing. Let's go offense. Regular season. Tua. Yeah, I don't think they're going to show me a pressure rate by game. Offense, passing pressure. No, they just tell you the whole season. They just give you the whole season. Dang, it would have been nice to know by game. It would have been nice to identify by game because I bet you there's a correlation. I bet there's a correlation, and it'll show the teams that get good pressure. Dang. Yeah. Yeah, there ain't no tough. Wait, I'm in the wrong year anyway. Well, no, that's the right year. Regular season plus regular season and postseason. Okay. All right, it is what it is. I can believe we didn't get us a third round pick in a trade. Yeah, that's kind of weird. It's kind of weird Miami did that or whatever. They have pressure by game, TD. You might have. Oh, let me see. They got by game stats. Yeah, but I don't think they. Let me see. Miami. Super Bowl. Let's see. Oh, I guess you have to click on the game. Yeah, I'll have to play with it then because I don't know how to get there. I don't know how to get to it. The pressures by game for each for two. I don't know how to find that. Yeah. Let's see here. But he had the most passing yards, CD. He led the league in passer rating, TD. These two riders will never learn. I mean, we all already know what time it is when it comes to that. At the end of the day, we know what time it is when it comes to that type of stuff now. It is what it is. He puts some yards up. That's good. Okay. That's why stats can be one of the most misleading things, you know. Check Deshaun Watson. I thought we did. Let me see. I want to do Deshaun Watson with the passing pressures. Let me see. Deshaun Watson. All right, let me see. Let's see. All right, here he is. All right. Deshaun Watson last year under pressure was trash at 44.1. The year before, I don't think he played, did he? He was 36.9. Let's go back to when it must be ain't no data for 21, obviously. All right, we got to go back to when he was in Houston at his best, I guess. When was his last year in Houston? Does anybody remember his last year in Houston? What was was it 2020? All right, let me see. 2021. What was he in 2021? There ain't no data for 2021. Oh, y'all said 2020. All right, his last year in Houston, Deshaun Watson is pulling up. It ain't coming up. Oh, that's 21 still. Okay, 2020. Houston, he was pressured 36% of the time. He was 73. 73 went under pressure. Yeah. 73 was his last when he was, I guess, right. When he was okay. 2020 when world was supposed to end. He's 73 grade right there with CJ Stroud, Mahomes, Lamar. How do you handle pressure? How do you handle pressure, man? And we're not talking about when you're not pressured at all. It don't hurt you as much when you ain't pressured much. Doesn't hurt as much. But yeah. But Deshaun, I don't know. He got to be able to prove he can get back to form, honestly. He got to prove that he can get back. Because that was, using 2020, that was when he was at the peak, when he had figured it all out. 2023, 24, I don't know about that. You got to do better. Knowing your check downs. That's true. Being able to check down your hots, your reads, all of that. But I will say this. Some of these guys to have such a high pressure rate, it also means that these guys aren't calling protection. Like nobody calls protections anymore in the NFL. Nobody, it ain't like barely anybody call protections, barely anybody audibling into something that's better. Like everybody coming out there to run the play. Guy could be coming off the slot and you see him and you just clap the ball to get the height. Like guys just running plays in today's football. It's crazy, man. Tom Brady said this: QBs have gotten dumber. I don't think they've gotten dumber. I think that they've gotten I think coaches have gotten lazy. Coaches don't want to take the time to teach them this stuff. They want to go the easy route. Just run the play. Especially the coaches that get rid of the ball quick, like Mike McDaniel. We ain't got to worry about all that other stuff that you need to learn how to do because we get rid of the ball quick. So we don't worry about that. Guy coming off the edge, we got a screen down on this. Don't worry about that. You know, I think that's what it is. I think the ownership is really on the coaches. They're not requiring this stuff. They're not requiring this stuff. Nick Saban said it. He said it even from all the way from college. These guys don't know how to read protections and audible. And we sending them in the NFL like that. Nick Saban said it out of his own mouth in an interview. Let me see. That would be the first group of people. Okay. Let me see. Okay, I already read those super chats. I'm gonna drop the link. I just want to hear what some of you guys got to say tonight before I get out of here. All right, I just dropped the link in the chat. Before I close it out tonight, I want to see if anybody want to come on and give me your thoughts about free agency and the draft so far. What you think about the team, the direction we're headed, all that good stuff, man. I'm not very enthused, y'all. What up, Greg? Talk to me.
Yo, what's up, TD? I just want to say, I don't know what we're doing with this draft. There's so many holes on this team. And the fact that we have reached for two players that you could have got later if you traded back. Maybe in the first round, Chop could have gone the Cardinals, but you still, if you traded back to where you before the Cardinals, you still could have got more assets to pick. Instead, I like Chop Robinson. I like the upside he brings, but you have so many holes, and you drafted edge, which we understandably need because we don't know where Phillips and Chubb will be. But you reached for him. You could have got him. I let me pull it up here. Let me pull up the draft real quick. I know the Packers probably wanted to go corner. I don't know why we didn't. The Packers. I don't know what goes on in these war rooms, but there was apparently 4 to 5 trades offered, and every year with the Dolphins, no matter what coach is there, whoever it is. Whatever picks we have, it seems like we just sit there with the picks we have and just take the player we want. And I have to watch the Chiefs, their general manager, their management team moving up and down the boards, getting the players that they want. And we just sit there with our hands on our lap doing nothing. And I don't know if you saw this. Right after we made the pick, we did our press conference, and that was it.
I noticed that, and that kind of teed me off. You're not even looking to see if there's another good player that you like and saying, hey, let's keep on watching and see if anything we can do. Like, what if the next best available player would have been there at 101 and you could have moved up, you know? But you just let your night be done. Great observation, Greg. I'm going to do a stream on that tomorrow. I'm ripping Chris Greer about that one because let me tell you, you bring up a good point tonight too, because I think you're right. We got a player we like, we pick him. If we feel we instead of 55, we know we can get him at 102. Well, the guy we wanted at 55 is gone. So, hey, who's our next best? 102. Hey, I don't care about where you draft them. We want them, so get them. Yeah. Like I think it's like you're not even trying to trade down, and it is not making any sense. You're not strategically handling any of this.
No, and again, seemingly, I believe what was it, Armando Sangaro? Is that the guy that you said pointed out that early rebuild that you talked about? Someone else mentioned it on Twitter. I mean, you drafted 2 positions that we have guys at. Granted, edge we kind of need. We don't know what happens with Chubbs and Phillips, but it seems like you're going into a rebuild next year when we have a team that many fans believe that we can win now. And again, going back to I've been team trade down since day one. You're going to be paying the quarterback regardless how we feel about it or not. He will be getting a bag, and now we have a bunch of holes. You lost Christian Wilkins. We haven't replaced them yet, and it's just a mess, and it's the Chris Greer masterclass. We reach for players that are scheduled to go later. And again, Patric Paul, TD, I don't know if you saw this, Daniel Jeremiah, one of these draft analysts, he wasn't even in the top 150 prospects to go today.
Yeah. I just definitely feel like you could have got him later, man. But again, Chris Greer got the guy that he liked, man. Thanks for coming through, Greg.
You got it. Have a great night.
You too, bro. Oh man. Big Mike, what's up, man?
What's good, bro?
What's good, man? How you feeling?
Good. Not too good.
What's going
Starting
on?
to lose faith, man.
About what part of it? The future now or what?
We just not trying to win no Super Bowl, bro. It's clear, obvious. The last 3 years, couple years, we not trying to win no Super Bowl. Why are we good at the beginning of the season? I don't care about injuries because everybody have injuries. We all know this. So at the beginning of the season, we look like the best team in the league, and then when December and all that come, we look like we not even trying no more. Everything good? You can hear me? I don't know what happened.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. You hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I don't know what's going on. I just literally froze
Yeah,
out.
you froze. Yeah, you
Audio
froze.
and then I can't click anything on the screen.
Yeah, you froze.
My bad, bro.
But yeah, man, it's like at the beginning of the season, we look like world beaters, scoring 70 points, and then when it's time to start, you know what I mean? When it's that time to kick in, it's playoff time, we look like we not even trying. They ain't even like I'm looking, and then the draft come. We picking players for the future. We not picking players for right now, so we not trying to win right now. That's what I see.
Exactly.
We ain't trying to win right now at all.
So, what do we do from here, man?
I don't know, bro. Like, you not like he said, like the Greg said just now. We about to rebuild next year. That's what it'll look like. We rebuilding.
I guess so, man. I want to win a Super Bowl. I feel like we could already proclaim Greer failed on this rebuild, and now he's trying to go into another one. But we gotta let this year play out and hope that it work out in our favor, man.
And what else I want to? It's crazy, man. I'm 34, born in '89. I can say I've been a fan since '89. That's how it is. My whole family. I'm a fan since '89. It's like, bro, it's like we never trying to win.
Evan, 80s
we
baby.
Not trying to.
Where you from, bro?
Miami, bro. Born and raised.
Okay, yeah.
I'm still in Miami. I'm in Miami, man. I'm from Miami, man. I'm a 305 boy.
That's what's up, man. 80s baby. All right, man. I appreciate you coming through, bro.
All right, bro. Thanks, man.
Yeah. Sorry, guys, that can't see me. I don't know what's going on, but as long as you can hear me. What's up, Glenn?
Man, fire Greer. Just fire him. Man, okay, in a way I understand the picks, but not really, because we could have got Barton. He could have been the tackle of the future and had somebody now. Okay? The problem is we had to go in this draft, knew we had 2 picks in the first 5 rounds or till we got to 5. You had to get starters.
Yeah.
Neither one of these are starters. I'm telling you now, if just one Chubb or Jalen comes back, you think Barnett's sitting on the bench?
Mm-mm.
So just one of them comes back, and we got somebody sitting on the bench for a whole year. He might come in. He'll come in, and he'll play, and they'll swap him out. Only good thing he could do now is they could slide him over a guard during a long pass and put pressure that way, maybe.
Yeah, but he can't play.
No. I'm talking like 3rd and 15 or 3rd and 20. They could throw him over to a guard where you ain't worried about the run.
Yeah.
And then you could put pressure because he can do that. He can get up the guard. But here's the thing I have on the whole problem.
Mm-hmm.
If you were after 2 years you gave up, why didn't we just stick with this plan 2 years ago?
Yeah, exactly.
Why did we get all these players? We could have had a bunch of players and still had a bunch of money.
Like people don't realize if we don't win before we move on from Ramsey, Tyreek, and Chubb, you just wasted two years of draft capital for
you missed 8 players, drafting 8 players. If you move on from these and we don't win.
Yeah.
8 players.
Yeah, that's just sad.
And most of those were in the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. The starting play positions that should be 2 years ago, we should have had players that were coming in.
Yeah, you gave up like 4 players for Tyreek. You gave up a first a first for Ramsey.
Wait. You gave up a first, a second, and a second, and then a 4th. Yeah, 4 players for Tyreek.
Mm-hmm.
You gave Ramsey. Then you gave up Chubb. Chubb was 2 players or 2 draft picks. And it's just crazy.
Yeah.
That
I see you guys.
You went all in 2 years ago. How many years do Greer thinks he has?
That's a great question.
Because most people, after their 2 years thing fails, they start to worry about being fired. So now they're spending all the money from next year, next year capital to make sure we win this year, so he don't have to worry about being fired. But this guy, Greer, just says, forget it. I don't even care about being fired. I'm not going to be fired, so I could do what I want.
And let me say this too. I don't think McDaniel happy about either pick. I think he's just going along with it. Yeah, I mean, for me, when I watch these press conferences, every time he try to add his 2 cents, it's like trying to sell why he's okay with the pick. I don't even know if he really a fan of these picks.
Man, he told the people, watch that interview. He told the people, well, you guys can go home and have a short night tonight.
Oh, my gosh.
That's what he said. And at the end of the second one, after they drafted, they say, yeah, we pretty much told them, go home all the reporters, you can go home for the night. Wow. I don't think they don't draft till the 5th round to tomorrow.
Yeah, that's it. They got to wait through the 4th.
And so now we went through 3 years. 3 years. Okay? Tell me one player you remember the last 3 years. That thing, A-Chain.
That's it. Other than that, Cam Smith.
This Cam Smith's in the bench.
I know.
We got one player in the last 3 years that I can remember drafted. And
no, something punched me in the gut the other day. I was on Twitter, Glenn, and somebody put a post that really hit me hard, and I got instantly mad at Chris Greer. People don't think about this. How many players on our roster did Chris Greer draft and they're starting, and they're starting on the team right now.
Hey, I got to admit we could talk about Chris Greer. Chris Greer had a good 19, 20, and 21 season.
19 and 20,
21. He drafted good those years. I mean, he did have a lot of draft choice up front, so he got to pick a lot of number one, so that's a little bit easier. 19, 20, and 21. He had a good season.
You mean Flores's years?
Yep, Flores's years when they got Jalen, they got that. Well, they picked Well, they got two.
Okay, I think you're throwing me off because you said 19. You mean
20? 19? They got 19. They got the I do believe 19. They got the defensive tackle that just left.
Well, let me rephrase what was on Twitter. It said, how many players did Chris Greer draft and make it to the second contract on this team?
Oh, now that's totally different. That's totally different.
But the funny part about it was because remember they were going off of the fact he's been a general manager like 8-9 years, right? And when you look at it, they named like 4 players, and 2 of them were on special teams.
Only one I could think of is Austin Jackson.
Austin Jackson was one. Jason Sanders was one. It was 2 teamers, and I gotta go find that post.
But no, it's this team. The thing now, hey, I was watching your thing. Now you have to look at that pressure situation, right?
Mm-hmm.
And when you look at that pressure situation, what makes their grade so good is look at their run. Their run is high too.
Well, their ability to run and get out of the pressure.
That's right. Their ability to run. If you look at all the ones that are bad, they have bad ability to run.
But not everybody.
On that chart, if you look at it, because I was following along.
Not Joe Burrow though.
He still had a better one let's not do Joe. He still had a better running ability than Tua.
Well, I got some more people.
Yeah. Go ahead. I just wanted to say I just don't know where this team's going. I just don't. I'm about to give up on them, and I've been a fan since 70-something, 71, 72.
I know it's rough, bro.
Okay. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.
Crypto, talk to us.
Hey, what's going on, TD? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. What's going on?
Yeah, man, I tell you, I feel Glenn's pain, man. I said if there's anybody that knows about the duration of pain, I grew up a Cubs fan. I just so happened to be born, inside of that 108-year gap to know what it's like to go without a championship for over a century. Wow. Fortunate for me, I didn't have to go the full 108 years. I got mine in 2016. So I'm good on that side. I'm just hoping my beloved Miami Dolphins don't repeat that. We're 56 years away from that accomplishment, TD.
Oh my
so
God.
Before you know it, we'll be the Cubs 2.0 if we don't fix this thing. So that's where we sit as a franchise. We're at the midway point of the Chicago Cubs 2.0.
Do you see the fix anywhere in sight?
The fix. I'll take one fix, at least in my lifetime. If we can fix one. Listen, the thing is about Greer, man, he's masterful and trying to extend his own time. That's the way I look at what happened yesterday and today.
You ain't never lied.
I'm like, man, he is so just teasing us as a fan base, basically saying, okay, you want offensive lineman, I'll give you an offensive line, but you're still going to be spatting over it. You want an edge rusher, I'll give you your edge rusher. I'm sure none of you gonna 80% of you is not gonna like it. You know, it's like it seems like he keeps dangling these little carrots over, at us and say, "Oh, you remember the statement he made? You guys are worried about the offensive line more than I do." But now he gets an offensive lineman that we're all in dispute about, as if he wasn't going to draft one. It's crazy.
The funny thing about all of this crypto is that I was the main one last year advocating for exactly what he's doing now, and people were getting mad because I'm like, you got to start preparing for the future. You need to look at the quarterback position. You need a left tackle of the future. You need to. Are you going to pay first? I was telling people this is what we need to be prepared for. I feel like we're doing it a year too late. Well, it's never too late, but we're doing it a year later than we should. But then you put yourself in a position like you're trying to build for now, but this totally is against that. You have to make that decision which way you're going. So I don't like the fact that I feel like he's trying to make this total new rebuild around Tua if you give him the money. Do you know how hard it's going to be to rebuild better than what you just brought in?
If you're shelling out 33% of your salary cap to one individual, yes, that's gonna be that's making it more difficult. And we haven't had many teams to be able to do that outside of the KC, and it's very few teams that could have the ability to do that. That can pay a guy that much and still be able to just give him enough pieces to win with.
And now KC gets another receiver.
They get another. The fastest one. They're rebuilding the new Tyreek Hill over there.
4-2-1.
Yeah. Now they got Hollywood, which is another fast guy. So they're now building up their speed. Track.
They got the fastest tandem in the NFL. Faster than Waddle and Tyreek.
Yeah.
The man run a 4-2-1. And then you look at Hollywood. What Hollywood run? I gotta see.
It's 4-2-7, I think, for him.
He ran
something like that. Yeah, I think his was 4-2-7 or right at the low 4-3s.
Then I
thought he was in the 4-2s too.
Yeah, they got the fastest tandem in the NFL. It's no longer us.
Right.
And if they can get him to come in and play at a high level, then people are probably going to say they got the best receiving core in the league, especially if they put the numbers up.
Right. Exactly. That's the thing about them. Everybody in the league is chasing them, but then there's levels to it, right? We're still chasing until we win the division. We're still chasing the Bills because we're like, man,
we're chasing the weak version of them. And now they got probably back to the strong version. They go draft. They drafted a tackle and they drafted the wide receiver.
That's what I'm saying. We got a weaker version of them. If they're able to pull off yet another division title, I think that alone is to signal Greer's firing.
Oh my gosh!
I mean, I'm telling you, especially if we were to flame out in the same fashion we did this year and the year before, that alone should be enough right there to say you haven't even built the team to beat your own division rival. How can you look forward to the Kansas Cities and the Baltimores and the upcoming Texans of the world now? Right. It's like, man, it's crazy. How can you construct it? Because the general manager is responsible not only for bringing in talent, that talent's got to have enough chemistry to beat the teams that's ahead of you.
And that's something
it's not just
much chemistry because we keep on rotating.
Yeah, you can't just bring in a bag of groceries and you can't put it together. You know what I'm saying?
People don't think about that too with us. Our continuity. We lost a lot of players, man.
Yeah, going into last offseason was much more certain than going into this offseason.
Yeah.
But they're on the propaganda campaign to convince us that we're better because collectively they're saying we added more pieces, but they're not as good as the outgoing pieces. But they're going to add them cumulatively and say, oh, we're better because we got more. But that the talent level is not like what just left out the door. So can you say that just because on paper? They had us winning the off season every year, the off season Super Bowl. We're raising the Lombardi from mid February to mid August, and then come November through January, we're basically playing like a lottery team.
Yeah.
Year in and year out. I mean, how does that work? And what's his name brought up a good point, TD. How many regimes or how many different coaches staffs do a general manager that's responsible for a rebuild get to play with? What's the cap on how many coaches you get to hire, or how many different sets of personnel you get to bring in over a 5 or 6 year period before it's time to pull the plug on them? Has
Well,
there been a lot of GMs that's been able to last multiple head coaches and things like that, and multiple turnovers
where
from personnel and still survive?
Greer was here during Gase too, right?
Yeah, he was in this like scout department, then he got promoted like the assistant, and then he made the final one, I think in 2018 or
Oh,
2019.
so
Yeah,
you don't hold Gase against him, but Flores, it
right.
wasn't because of him as a coach; it was because of the disputes and all that crap. Um, then McDaniel, we'll see how this goes.
Right, that's what I'm saying. If he puts McDaniel, let's say if he put McDaniel on a hot seat, then who is to say Stephen Ross shouldn't put him on a hot seat? Because now that's two full coaching regimes that you didn't have work underneath your guidance.
Chris Greer has to go if McDaniel ever goes, and here's why. We know the only reason they all gonna be going is because of the quarterback position, or the reason why they stay
Yeah,
is because of the quarterback position. So Chris Greer got to own that.
right. He's tied to them, right? The quarterback, right? He either stays or goes, all because of the decision at the quarterback.
Yeah, but crypto, I got a few more people backstage.
Oh yeah, I appreciate it, man.
I appreciate you, bro. I'll talk to you later.
All right, thanks.
Jason, what's up, man?
What up, TD? You can hear me?
Yes, sir. How you feeling?
I'm good, man. Good to see you doing good. I'm gonna make it quick, but uh it's just I hate how our fan base tries to hold Chris Greer up to the standard of guys like Howie Roseman, Brett Veach,
Mhm.
guys who have actually won Super Bowls and built rosters from the ground up and have multiple All Pros on their rosters that they didn't trade for, guys that they drafted and
Mm,
developed.
mhm.
And then you'll still have the Miami media and the homers pushing this narrative. Oh, Chris Greer is cooking. He's doing all these great things, and better GMs have been fired for less. The guy
Fact.
hasn't won a playoff game in his entire tenure. He's only had two playoff appearances in what, 8 years,
Mm,
7 years, and so it's getting to the point, just like Crypto just said. What's going on? Because it's either Stephen Ross is falling asleep at the wheel and he's just letting Chris Greer do whatever he wants, or sooner or later you're going to have to hold your general manager accountable. Because one thing I like to say is Chris Greer is the only general manager in the entire country who doesn't get fired over the shortcomings of people he hired.
mm.
Like people always say, Flores this. Chris Greer sat in an interview room with Flores and gave him the job, right? Oh,
Facts.
Chris Greer, this, that, and third with injuries. These are players he evaluated. It's there's no one in the building saying, "Hey, Chris Greer, we did this without your attention. We did this without your approval. Deal with it." No, he has his hands on everything, and the fact that people are giving him a free pass because one, he's a Tua guy, so they like to say, "Oh, well, whatever he does, as long as he pays Tua, we're fine with it." That's kind of what's holding the team back because you how many more teams is he going to be able to sift through? How many more times is he going to be able to make a mistake and do another soft rebuild?
Mm.
You barely hear that term with GMs. It's usually, oh, you didn't do it in 4 or 5 years, okay, you're gone. The guy's been here for 7 years, only two playoff appearances, not wins, appearances. So now it begs the question, like, where do you go from here? And how much more stuff can he get away with? It's like, does he know something about Stephen Ross that we don't know? And if he gets fired, then all the stuff is gonna get leaked in the Miami media, and then Stephen Ross is gonna have to sell the team. Like, what is it that's holding this dude here where he is not even doing half the things that other GMs have done? Like, I'm looking at the Lions GM, right? Brad Holmes. The guy's been there since 2021, I think. And he's already drafted. He has a far better draft resume than Chris Greer. If you look at the guys that the Lions have drafted since 2021, he has a way better draft resume than Chris Greer.
Yep.
And it's like, are we just going to continue to allow this because he likes Tua? Or are we going to continue to allow this because, oh, he got Tyreek, he got Jalen Ramsey? So what? Other GMs do the same thing, right? But like I said, the guy is he's not holding up to the standard that we have, and yet people praise him as if he's won 2 Super Bowls. So that's just always odd to me. But I just wanted to know what you thought.
Yeah, I think it's just the Dolphins thing though.
Mm.
I think this is just the like we always elevate our players, coaches, general managers greater than what they really are because the typical fan never cross references it with the entire NFL. So like we'll take a player, right? And
Mhm.
we'll just be like, "Oh, he's one of the best. He's the like we'll call somebody the best and
Mhm.
ignore the rest of the NFL."
How did he not
You
make the
know,
Pro Bowl?
exactly. He got snubbed. Why? Because you saw him playing good on Sunday, but you didn't notice that guy over on this team playing better.
You're right. You know
So
what? You know what I'll say to that? That's kind of why I like pages like yours, because I've always, amongst like other Dolphin fans, I've said Miami media does a horrible job educating the fan base on the entire league.
yeah,
Because if you look at Miami media, that's who these people that come in your comments and harass you, that's who they get their narratives from.
they
These
only
people aren't
display the
they're
stat.
not concocting these things at home. They're getting it from Omar and all these other guys that they see on Twitter, and they're concocting those thoughts. And those guys are saying, "Oh wow, this is the greatest pick. This is the greatest player." And they're not comparing them to other guys, right? They're
And
not saying, "Yeah, this guy is great, but compared to the other great edges, he's pretty average."
but
This
you
guy
gotta
is go ahead.
my bad. You have to understand the work they put in throughout the year to sell a player. Like they'll take a
Yeah,
player
yeah.
like Tua. They'll
Mhm.
look at all 500 stats you can find on a player.
Yeah.
And they'll find the one that says, Tua has 100% completion percentage when eating eggs in the morning on a
Exactly. Yeah.
on a day that's 70 degrees or greater. They're just whatever stat they can find
Whatever.
favorable,
Yeah.
they're gonna attach that to a post and get people's reactions from it. And their job is to do that. They don't post any, oh, well, he's not good when under pressure. This is
Hmm.
the first time I saw like a truthful post that
Genuine
is
criticism. Yeah.
favorable, but
Hmm.
they still use the post to blame it on the O line.
Exactly. And then you know what's funny? The same people that will say it's the O line's fault, the same media pundits that'll say that, then they'll say, "Oh, but Chris Greer is having a great draft, or Chris Greer is signing great players." Just
Yeah,
like Crypto said just a few weeks ago, just a few months ago, what did Chris Greer said? You guys are more worried about the O line than we are. Notice how none of the media members went crazy on that.
yeah,
They spent the entire time. These people will harass you for saying Tua has enough protection, right? Just get the ball out quick. Tua can do enough. He doesn't need more protection. These
yeah.
people will call you every name but a child of God. But when Chris Greer says you guys are more worried about the O line than we are, it's crickets. Where are you guys? Where's the media members? Where's the outrage? You have no problem cussing out fans for saying it, but when Chris Greer says it, all of a sudden it's, well, all right, guys, you heard the man. We have enough. Where's the energy?
There ain't no,
Why aren't we being consistent?
there ain't no. But
But
yeah,
I'm gonna
man.
let you go, man. I'm not trying to hold it up too long. I know you got a whole bunch of people, but thanks for letting me on.
Nah, I appreciate it, Jason. Take care, bro.
You too, brother.
Uh that was it. I know a lot of people dropped off because I couldn't get to them in time. I appreciate y'all love and support. Let me read these last two super chats. Glenn said, I have a feeling Greer does not get a contract done with Tua. Greer hates paying players big on their second contract. Greer will mess Tua over. No, he won't, because it's all about Tua. He ain't paying people for Tua. These players' appearances were in the last 2 years, playoff appearances. Y'all are talking like it was 5 years ago, and we've done nothing since. I don't get what you're saying. These two playoff appearances were in the last 2 years. Y'all are talking like it was 5 years. Bro, the last two playoff appearances were simply due to the fact that the rest of the AFC, we got very fortunate. Just like last year, we got fortunate with Joe Burrow going out, Trevor Lawrence getting hurt and letting the Houston Texans catch up. We got fortunate with a lot of teams doing the things that they did. We didn't beat any good teams. Who cares about a playoff appearance when you had the easiest schedule in the NFL? It's done now. The season is over. It is a 100% fact, not opinion, that the Miami Dolphins had the easiest strength of schedule in the NFL last year. The easiest. This isn't my opinion. So you should have been, bro, the talent on this roster alone should have been to the AFC Championship game. And we talk about just making the playoffs. We underachieved. Why do y'all think the goal is just to make the playoffs? That's a cop-out goal. Well, your goal is just to make it so everybody got a fair chance then. We never had a shot in the playoffs. It was over before it started. We came in as shams. Doesn't make sense. So, and I got another question for everybody that I'm going to be asking this a lot. If Chris Greer been taking over for the last 8 years, can you tell me how many All-Pros has he drafted? How many All-Pros has he drafted in the last 8 years? You want to talk about really hitting on a draft pick? I mean, do you have any players that you drafted that were top 2 player in the NFL? How many? Like, I want you to think about that. Somebody said one. Who? Alec Ingold or something? I don't even know who that one is. One kicker. Did Jason Sanders become an All-Pro? Wilkins ain't no All-Pro. Wilkins ain't no All-Pro. He didn't draft Xavier Howard. See, that was my point. He didn't draft. I don't think he drafted Xavier Howard, did he? I'm gonna have to go back. Listen, Holland ain't no All-Pro. None of these guys y'all talk about. Stop. Tua ain't no All-Pro. None of them. Y'all stop that. He probably, if he got any, it's one. And I got to go look that up. But I want y'all to think about that. I want you to think about that. You want to be a great GM? You want to compare them to the greats? It makes me laugh how many of y'all think that what makes a great GM is being able to give up draft capital and spend the most money for a great player that's already been proven and drafted by somebody else. I can't believe y'all give him credit for Tyreek Hill, Jalen Ramsey, Bradley Chubb. If you gonna guarantee a player being the highest paid or overpaying them for their age, that it ain't hard to do. Tyreek said in an interview, yeah, but that money, I would have stayed with the Chiefs, but I couldn't turn that money down. And on top of it, the Chiefs couldn't turn down all that draft capital you sent. Y'all really think that's what makes him a great GM? Oh, he brought in some great players. It's easy to use your capital and money to go get somebody. You can give me the worst team in the league. Like real talk. What's the word? Like the Carolina Panthers right now can trade 2 first-round picks for a player like Brandon Ayuk. Duh, it's 2 first-round picks. You overpaid. And make them the highest paid. That ain't hard to do, but they not dumb. They're not going to do that. Y'all giving Chris Greer credit for doing something that other GMs don't do because it's dumb. And this is what I keep telling y'all. I keep telling y'all this. I don't care what talent you bring in here. If you don't win a Super Bowl with them, it was a failure anyway. Y'all gonna be like, Tyreek wasn't no failure. He balled out when he was here. And it amounted to nothing. It was a failure. Do you see the less productive Tyreek with Kansas City? That was a success. Making sure you're not force-feeding him the ball would be a success. The Chiefs showing you that, but all we can do is force-feed him the ball. You know why? Because they need that chemistry with him and Tua, because Tua ain't the type of guy that can go around and process it all. He can't just spread the rock around like that and not have to force feed it to a guy. Y'all think Mahomes still be hiking the ball and like, I gotta go to Kels. I gotta go to Kels. No, Mahomes done been graduated out of that. He literally hiked the ball, and now he ain't the greatest processor of the field, but what he's doing is looking for an open guy. You'll never catch me saying Patrick Mahomes going through progressions and reading the defense to determine who's open. He's just a backyard football player, one of the greatest to me, where he can hike the ball, just look out there in the field and say, who open? Who about to be open? Who I can feel the anticipation. He can do that. So, no, man, just show me the all-pros Chris Greer drafted. Please. Give me a second. I'm gonna see if I can pull that up. Oh, okay, never mind. We got it. See if it pulls up. Oh, it ain't coming up. All right. But anyway, man, love y'all. Appreciate y'all. Any last words in the chat? Also, remember this stream is being powered by BetUS. Receive a 125% bonus. The link is in the description of the video. Let your friends and family members know about it as well. Supporting the sponsor is supporting the channel, ladies and gentlemen. All right. Hold on, y'all give me a second real quick. I'm looking at something real quick. Let me make sure, because I know I ain't tripping. Hold on. All right, let me see here. Okay. Okay, 20. All right. Okay, I got it. I was trying to see something with trying to see what year. Okay. Hey, why is this thing missing? All right, man, it ain't gonna come up for me. All right, y'all. Love y'all. Appreciate y'all. Fins up no matter what. I will see y'all tomorrow. I'll try to check in. And we'll go at it tomorrow. All right. Love y'all. Peace. I'm out. My camera. I don't know why it did.